National Security Advisor Jonathan Powell. Foreign Minister Abdulati stressed Egypt's interest in promoting political, economic and investment cooperation with the United Kingdom and increasing British investments in Egypt. To shed more light on this issue, we are delighted to be joined over the phone by Dr. Mohamed Ezaby, Professor of International Relations. Good evening, Doctor.
Good evening to you.
Thank you for joining us on Nile TV International. So we followed Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati's visit to the UK, where he welcomed the UK's recognition of a Palestinian state and a planned embassy in London. So what concrete difference would this make on the ground in Gaza versus being a symbolic gesture?
Well, the recent diplomatic engagements between Badr Abdulati and the foreign minister of both, not only United Kingdom but also Spain, reflect a significant evolution in Egypt's regional and international diplomacy. At a highly sensitive geopolitical moment, these meetings carry strategic implications that go far beyond bilateral relations, especially aimed at the continuing Gaza crisis, Red Sea tensions, energy security concerns, migration challenges, and rapid reshaping the Mediterranean and the Middle Eastern alliance. Since assuming office, Foreign Minister Dr. Badr Abdulati has pursued an active diplomatic strategy focused on restoring Egypt's role as a central regional stabilizer and indispensable mediator. His meetings with European counterparts are not merely ceremonial, they represent part of Cairo's broader efforts to strengthen strategic coordination with influential European actors at a time when the Middle East is undergoing profound transformation. The simultaneous engagement with Spain and Britain highlights Egypt's understanding that Europe is no longer a secondary actor in regional crisis. Instead, European states are increasingly involved in questions of ceasefire diplomacy, maritime security, migration management, energy diversification, and humanitarian coordination. So the meeting with the British foreign minister demonstrates the growing convergence between Cairo and London on several regional files. Alignment on Gaza crisis, Britain has emerged as one of the most vocal European countries citizens the humanitarian situation in Gaza and supporting Palestinian rights. Egypt views the Britain position as a politically important because it helps balance more hardline European approaches. Cairo seeks a leverage Britain influence with the European Union to increase pressure for a sustainable ceasefire, support humanitarian access into Gaza, reject forced displacement of Palestinians towards Sinai, promote the revival of the political process based on the two-state solution. From Egypt's perspective, Spain represents an important European partner capable of advocating for more balanced regional policies inside European institutions and also London.
What are the main objectives hoped to be achieved by Egypt from this visit to the UK?
Well, the first objective is economic and energy dimensions. The meeting carries economic implications, particularly regarding renewable energy investment, green hydrogen projects, LNG exports, infrastructure cooperation, tourism recovery. European search for alternative energy supplier after Ukrainian war have elevated Egypt's strategic importance as an energy hub linking the Eastern Mediterranean with the European market. London, with its advantage energy infrastructure, and LNG capabilities could become an important partner in future regional energy integration projects. Second is strategic importance of the meeting with Britain. The meeting between Badr Abdulati and the British Foreign Secretary reflects another critical dimension of Egyptian diplomacy, especially considering Britain's historical influence and ongoing strategic role in Middle Eastern affairs. Coordination on regional security. Britain remains deeply involved in regional security calculations related to the Red Sea, the Gulf region, maritime trade routes, counter-terrorism operation, Iranian Western tension. Egypt's geographic position makes it a key security partner for London, particularly in securing navigation through the Suez Canal and addressing threats affecting international shipping. The discussion likely addressed the security repercussion of regional escalation, especially attacks targeting maritime routes and the border implications for global trade and energy supplies. Britain also occupies a complicated position regarding the Gaza conflict, the U.S. alliance commitment, and domestic political debates.
So, Doctor...
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Doctor, the Minister Abdulati called for an international stabilization forces in Gaza, and who would realistically deploy or contribute troops to the region, and to what extent does this protect the region from the Israeli violations?
Well, we know that one of the main conditions in the agreement which held and signed in Sharm el-Sheikh and attended by Donald Trump, besides His Excellency President al-Fattah al-Sisi, is international troops in Gaza Strip. And now Egypt called for achieving this condition, which signed in Sharm el-Sheikh. Especially, it will prevent Israel to continue strike Gaza, and it will make the entering of humanitarian aid is more easy for the Gazan people. So Egypt always seeks for first sending humanitarian aid and medical aid. The second is to stop any kind of strikes from Israel towards Gaza and West Bank, not only Gaza. So by existing these troops, it will mean that Israel can strike these troops, or it will announce a war towards the countries who share with the troops in Gaza. So Dr. Badr Abdulati assured that we need these troops so quickly to be on the land of Gaza to start their work.
So, Doctor, Egypt is supporting U.S.-Iran nuclear talks as a path to de-escalation. How do you see, or how do you assess Cairo's position?
Well, we know that Egypt works as a mediator between Iran and the International Nuclear Organization before, and Egypt succeeded to make an agreement between Iran and this organization before the strike. But now, United States insists to delay any kind of nuclear projects from Iran. So Egypt tried to make a pressure on the mediators and the United States and Iran to sign this agreement to stop any kind of escalation in the area of Hormuz Strait and the Gulf countries. Especially, this war affected the international economy and oil chain supplies, and no one up till now can know how the price of oil will reach. Especially, Hormuz Strait is still closed, and if the war starts again, especially that Donald Trump yesterday announced that the strike was about to be today, and he canceled the strike by the call of Prince Mohammed bin Salman and Prince Tamim bin Hamad. So we must know that Israel and the United States start to attack Iran again if they didn't announce to surrender to all U.S. conditions. And I think that Iran will not accept all United States conditions, and we are about to see the war again.
So Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati stressed the protection or protecting the freedom of navigation in the Red Sea in line with the international law. So where Houthi attacks continue, whose interpretation of international law are we actually operating under?
Well, we know that by the Iranian war, we see Al-Houthi involved in this war too, and start to attack any ships in the Red Sea, and these attacks prevent these ships to reach to Suez Canal, and it affected Egypt's economy. So Dr. Badr Abdulati assured that we need to protect the maritime in the Red Sea. Even we need to make a troops to be in the Red Sea to protect the navigations. Because the navigation in the Red Sea and Bab el-Mandeb and the Hormuz Strait is free by the international law. So we need to assure that all countries must respect the international law and didn't attack the navigation in any place in the seas or oceans or straits. So Dr. Badr Abdulati assured that there is a kind of cooperation between Egypt and Britain to protect the navigation in the Red Sea, and they will make many things to do that.
Dr. Mohamed Ezaby, the Professor of International Relations, would you please stay with us? We are moving now to the Foreign Minister's visit to Spain. We'll watch this report and we'll be right back. Minister of Foreign Affairs Badr Abdulati started a visit to Madrid where he met Spanish counterpart José Manuel Albares on bilateral ties and regional and international developments. Addressing a press conference after the talks, Abdulati hailed Spain's contribution to the implementation of Egypt's Vision 2030 through boosting economic cooperation. Let's watch the following report for more details.
Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati and his Spanish counterpart José Manuel Albares held political consultations in Madrid on Monday, reaffirming efforts to deepen bilateral cooperation and coordinate positions on regional crises, including Gaza, Sudan, and de-escalating tensions in the Middle East. The talks came as Egypt and Spain seek to advance the strategic partnership launched in February 2025 and expand cooperation in investment, migration, renewable energy, tourism, and technology. Foreign Minister Abdulati praised the high level reached in relations between the two countries and stressed the importance of implementing the mechanisms of the strategic partnership. On Gaza, Abdulati expressed appreciation for Spain's support for Palestinian rights and stressed the need to implement the first phase of the US-backed plan and move towards the second phase while enabling the National Committee tasked with administering Gaza to begin operating from inside that territory. He also called for the rapid deployment of International Stabilization Force in Gaza. The two ministers exchanged views on regional developments and efforts to contain escalating tensions, with Abdulati stressing the importance of supporting ongoing US-Iran negotiations and prioritizing diplomatic solutions. Abdulati also reviewed Egypt's efforts within the International Quartet addressing the Sudan crisis, calling for a humanitarian truce leading to a comprehensive ceasefire and an inclusive Sudanese-led political process, while stressing the importance of ensuring unhindered humanitarian access. The discussions further covered developments in the Horn of Africa, where Abdulati affirmed Egypt's support for the sovereignty, territorial integrity and stability of countries in the region, describing the Horn as directly linked to Egyptian national security. For his part, Albers praised Egypt's role in supporting regional stability and containing escalating tensions, further strengthening bilateral ties across areas of mutual interest. The two ministers agreed to continue close coordination and consultation to strengthen strategic relations and support efforts to reduce regional tensions and prevent further instability.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are still having Dr. Mohamed Ezaby, Professor of International Relations. So, Doctor, why has Spain become an increasingly important partner for Egypt? And the partnership started in 2025. Actually, what the strategic partnership, I'm talking about the strategic partnership in particular. So, what concrete results have this partnership materialized beyond diplomatic statements?
Well, we know that there is many kinds of cooperation between Egypt and Spain in many fields, especially the economic field. This meeting between José Manuel Alvarez and Dr. Badr Abdulati is a very important meeting. Egypt views participation in many things with Spain, especially in the field of new green hydrogen and new energy. And how is the deal with Spain in the field of railway? And Spain supports Egypt in many projects of infrastructure. So also that Spain works with Egypt in the field of natural gas. So Egypt is very important for Spain, and Spain is very important for Egypt. Spain also controlled Jabal Tariq Strait, and it's important for Egyptian economy, because anything which will happen to Jabal Tariq will make a problem for the Suez Canal, like what happened in Bab el-Mandab. So there is a cooperation also in the field of illegal migration between Egypt and Spain. Spain considers Egypt as the very powerful country in the Middle East who faces the problem of illegal immigration. So it is a very important relation. Also, the relation between Egypt and Spain is raised to a strategic cooperation. So it will make a lot of benefits for the people of Spain and Egypt.
Doctor, to what extent are both countries aligned regarding the de-escalation in the region?
Well, we can say that another major aspects in the conference between Dr. Badr Abdulati and José Manuel Alvarez involves Egypt's concerns over the escalation confrontation between Washington and Tehran, particularly following recent military tensions connected to the maritime security in the Gulf and Strait of Hormuz. Egyptian diplomacy appears increasingly focused on preventing a direct military confrontation between the United States and Iran. Also, Cairo recognizes that such a conflict could trigger severe disruptions in global oil supplies, a major increase in energy prices, economic shocks for developing countries, threat to Suez Canal traffic, expanding instability across the Arab world. So the Egypt messaging yesterday reflected a broader strategic calculation. Regional war no longer remain geographically contained. Any escalation in the Gulf directly impacts Egypt's economic and security interests through energy markets, trade flows, tourism, and maritime navigation.
So, Doctor, Foreign Minister Abdulati again called for an international stabilization force in Gaza. So, to what extent is Spain ready to contribute troops in the region?
Well, we know that Spain is one of the first countries who confessed by the two-country solution and confessed by the Palestinian country, and say that no way to stop the war between Israel and Palestinians without announcing the two-country solutions on the borders of 1967. Especially, Spain announced that after the meeting between His Excellency President Al-Fattah al-Sisi and the King of Spain, like what happened exactly after the meeting between His Excellency President Al-Fattah al-Sisi and Emmanuel Macron. For the trust of the all European countries of the person of His Excellency President Al-Fattah al-Sisi, so always they listen to their advices about the escalations in the area and try to share with His Excellency in any kind of solutions. So all the European countries respect the opinion of Egypt and His Excellency President Al-Fattah al-Sisi, and will share in the troops in Gaza, try to prevent any kind of escalation there again.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mohamed Ezaby, Professor of International Relations, for being with us and for your valuable information and insight. And thank you, everyone, for watching.